We are so used to our black women looking mixed that when we see an actual black woman, it's making people mad that she's not feminine enough, that she's not the kind of black woman we want to see. We want her hair to be loose. We want her eyes to be blue. We want her skin to be light. You don't want a black person to play the role. If you as a black person think that she's not pretty because she's too masculine and she doesn't deserve the role and it deserves to go to somebody lighter or who has a thinner nose or who has a smaller jaw or who has more feminine features, baby, we will never be free. As in, we will never be free.
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing I can say.
Hi, welcome to Mayowa's world. Hi y'all, my name is Mayowa, and on my platform I like to talk about colorism, featurism, texturism, and black erasure, and today I'm going to focus on featurism. So there is an actress called Franchesca Amuda, and she is cast to play Juliet in a Romeo and Juliet play alongside Tom Holland. In my last video, I had referenced the fact that Franchesca was being likened to a man. There is an actress called Franchesca Amuda who is playing in the Romeo and Juliet, and people were literally likening her to a man. They were not judging her off of her talent. It was not her marketing team. It was because she is black. It is because of how people see dark-skinned people. And in the comments of my last video, a lot of y'all had brought up the Franchesca topic, so I thought it would actually be a good idea to get into a deeper do a deeper dive on this topic. So today we're going to be talking about the masculization of black women and how that is essentially touching with featurism. I want to just start off by saying that when it comes to Shakespearean plays, the first Romeo and Juliet was played by men, two men, and a man who was playing in drag, so a man pretending to be a woman. So the idea of like keeping it sacred and keeping it like true to this originality is a fallacy. There's been so many renditions of Romeo and Juliet, so many different spin-offs, but people didn't seem to have issue with it, right? But when you hire a monoracially dark-skinned black looking person, suddenly everyone is up in arms. And you know why it upsets me? I'm not surprised that the palm colored people are uncomfortable or upset. Like that one, I'm like, listen, they gonna get mad anyway. Like that one I see. What I don't see and what is the most disappointing is the amount of black people that are siding with them and saying that she is not fit to play this role simply because of how she looks. Today, I wanted to talk a lot about femininity and how I feel like a lot of how we view femininity is in opposition to blackness. So people were likening Franchesca Amuda to a man and saying that she has very masculine features. But what I think people are trying to say is that Franchesca Amuda looks black. She has a broader nose. She has fuller lips. She has darker skin. There was this trend that was going around TikTok a while ago where people will show what the feminized version of them looks like and what the masculinized version of them looks like. And every single time that it would do a feminized version, it would literally lighten your skin, make your nose smaller, make your lips kind of look like this very doll-like look. And just like literally like makes you look more racially ambiguous. And where we are with our beauty standard, racial ambiguity and elements that look like racially ambiguous is considered beautiful. People were saying that they wanted Franchesca Amuda to be played by Zendaya. Like when I scrolled through the comments, there were so many comments saying, why did they pick Franchesca when they could have picked Zendaya? This is what I mean when I talk about black erasure. Zendaya is biracial and she is often picked to play so many black women, and there have been many mixed race women who have been chosen to play black women, to the point where people are upset when a mixed woman is not playing a black woman. And I think the reason that so many people like to champion mixed race people as the image of blackness is because it shows a better statistic of how well we are doing. If we decided to not count every mixed race person as a form of success, and we were to look at monoracially black people, I think that we would see that monoracially black people are doing really badly and the progress that we've had over time isn't going to be looking as good. I wonder what the statistics would show if every time we talked about Black people being in successful positions, we were talking about monoracially Black, unambiguous people. I think mixed race people being seen as a form of progress I think mixed race people being seen as a form of progress is a part of an agenda to make it seem like Black people are doing well overall. Like, look, Zendaya's on the screen. Look, Amanda's on the screen. Cardi B is there. They want to throw all these out to make it seem like things are moving forward, but we can really see how we actually don't have much, we don't really have progress, because when an actual Black woman is there, people are up in arms and upset. We are so used to our Black women looking mixed that when we see an actual Black woman, it's making people mad that she's not feminine enough, that she's not the kind of Black woman we want to see. We want her hair to be loose. We want her eyes to be blue. We want her skin to be light. You don't want a Black person to play the role. If you as a Black person think that she's not pretty because she's too masculine and she doesn't deserve the role and it deserves to go to somebody lighter or who has a thinner nose or who has a smaller jaw or who has more feminine features, baby, we will never be free. As in, we will never be free. And featurism is so nasty too, because sometimes I feel like featurism discourses are very difficult because I feel like people are being really disingenuous when we talk about featurism. So featurism is if I say that it's a discrimination of Black features, it also means it's the acceptance of Eurocentric standards of beauty, which means a smaller nose, features that look more Eurocentric. And I feel like somehow the word Eurocentric, people just get really upset about the word. People were saying like Ryan Destiny instead should have played it instead of Franchesca. Talk about how Ryan Destiny benefits from Eurocentric standards of beauty. I am not saying that Ryan Destiny looks white. I am very aware that she looks Black. But what I am saying is that her features are beneficiary in a world that literally only upholds Eurocentric kinds of Black women. And I know it's hard for people to hear because nobody likes to think, I think within colorism discourse, a lot of dark skinned people are like, it's already hard enough being dark skinned. I don't want to have more nuances and realize that there's so many more intersections within being dark skinned. Like there's just so many more, including featurism, including texturism, including like the shade of dark skin you are. There's so much intersection. I think people don't want to really unpack that. And broader noses, bigger noses are masculinized. I've even seen people who get plastic surgery. I've even seen men who get plastic surgery and they make their noses appear bigger to look more masculine. They make their jaws appear bigger. And I always just want to remind you that our sense of beauty and what's considered beautiful has changed so much over time. A lot of it has been due to colonialism. There's certain things like, take for example, in different African ethnic groups, people who have neck rolls is considered like a sign of beauty. Like personally, if I see somebody with neck rolls, I think neck rolls is one of the most beautiful, regal, like it just looks so good, but people make fun of neck rolls. Another thing, having dark gums. I think people who have dark gums are mad beautiful. There are tattoos that people do to intentionally have dark gums in a lot of African societies, especially like in a lot of indigenous African societies. They will look at having Black gums as a sign of beauty. And now there's so many procedures to bleach or change the color of your gums, and having dark gums is considered bad. Another thing is the concept of hyperpigmentation. Like personally, I really don't like how we view hyperpigmentation because a lot of it is just rooted in colorism. And I feel like we are policed, like being Black and having different tones and stuff is policed more than like any other group, especially when you're dark. But the idea of having different colors on your body and calling it hyperpigmentation, like, I'm so sorry, but I just don't like that. That doesn't sit well with me. And it feels like it's rooted in anti-Blackness. Because freckles aren't considered hyperpigmentation, right? They're considered freckles. Like it's a cute word when we think about freckles. When we think about darkness on dark people, it's hyperpigmentation. Anyway, another thing that I don't like about this whole Franchesca Amuda, where is Tom Holland? Huh? Where is he at in this? He don't have to say nothing. I don't like that. It always falls on the Black woman. And I just wonder what kind of support are they doing for her? If there's any even support at all? Like, is she just out here unprotected? Y'all love having Black women in positions where it can put them in more danger because of the kind of audience and the kind of people that is like literally attacking her online. And I'm so glad that 600 or 800 Black actresses decided to sign this petition to stand with Franchesca. But I constantly ask us to like think about what femininity looks like, because even within femininity and masculinity, like people always think, for myself, like I have big locks, like my locks are thick, or I have thick hair, and thick locks are masculinized and thin locks are feminized, which is why they call the super skinny locks sister locks, you know, and like big nose is masculinized and thin nose is feminized. And like all of this is just going to encourage people to want to change their features and change their skin, because also dark skin is masculinized to fit a standard. But if Franchesca was to say, you know, I'm upset with all the media bashing I'm getting, and I'm going to bleach my skin, and I'm going to change my nose and change my features, y'all will tell her to love herself. And that's why I find this stuff to be disingenuous. Because you get upset when people want to change themselves based off of how society treats them. But then you also don't want them to get jobs. Like, you arguing that she shouldn't do this is also arguing that she shouldn't be paid for her labor and for her talent, that she should try and do other things because of her labor and her talent. And the ungendering of Black women is so dangerous, because the ungendering of Black women is also what makes people feel like they can be rougher, and they can make fun of us more, and they can dehumanize us more, because masculization means toughness and roughness. And that actually has, you know, really severe consequences for young girls who become masculinized. It also affects the violence that trans Black women experience because of how we ungender Black womanhood as a whole. I think that it's so crucial right now that we redefine what these words look like to center Blackness. And I always advise to go and look at how Indigenous people used to consider femininity, or how different Indigenous African groups would. But it's like, our hair is not considered feminine. If you're dark, your complexion is not considered feminine. Your nose is not considered feminine. I feel like, to me, I want to break away from that word, because that word holds a lot of trauma. I would love to hear what your relationship is to femininity as an unambiguous Black person. This is why, take for example, Drake can say things like, I'm light skinned, but I'm still a dark N-word, right? Because he knows that his light skin is automatically feminized. And by him saying that he's still dark skinned, he's like literally cloaking on a form of hardness. And what does that mean when you see Black women and you see dark skinned women? You're going to show them harshness. But I really stand with Franchesca, and I think that what she's going through is absolutely sickening. And I think that little salamander boy, Tom Holland, yeah, he needs to wake up and post something. Do something. That's the least that you can do. Like, I don't believe in the words of white allies. Like, I don't believe in allyship, actually. But I think that there's a standard of just like, I don't believe that doing the bare minimum should be called allyship, in my opinion. I think that he should do the standard, which is to stand up for the person who he's working alongside of getting attacked online. The bare minimum, not ally, the bare minimum. And then it's wild because his girlfriend is literally half Black. But like, this is what I mean, why I think a lot of people don't see her as Black at all, because you can still separate those two things. You see Franchesca, and you know, people don't think that she's worthy of protection. Black, dark-skinned people are not ever considered worthy of protection. And that's just, it's gross. This video today is actually inspired by a comment I got last week on my video. And it is by someone called Amazing Freakouts. And they wrote, your attire and the way you present yourself can limit you and bring down the opportunities you are able to receive. I think some dark-skinned women need to take accountability for how they choose to wear their makeup, hair, nails, jewelry choices, and clothing choices. You look very unique and interesting looking, but also very distracting and unserious looking. Some dark-skinned women put on this clown aesthetic, but want to be taken serious. Food for thought. I mean no harm. And I just thought to myself, if you thought I looked unserious before, now I'm going to turn it up. Every video I have, I'm going to keep doing the most unserious kind of makeup. It's like, baby, if you thought I was a clown before, I'm about to be a clown today. We're going to get into the clowning. Yeah. So get into the makeup, get into the eyes. And I think, you know, I can actually take it, like, the next video, I literally just might dress as a clown. Because and I want to talk about how, like, I know in the videos, I'm always like, oh, you guys, tell me what you like about the video. But the reason I like doing that, actually, is because I think it's nice to have something very whimsical. I love talking about very serious things in very whimsical manners. I like looking like a fairy. I like fantasy. I think the world is so boring. I think we need to have more disruptors. And I am a disruptor. I just want to thank you for that comment, because that really made me feel actually affirmed in some kind of strange way. I like that you're not really sure where to place me. If you made it to the end, give me my little perks about my look and my outfit. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.